All right, well, thousands of protesters gathering in Cairo right now. There is the current live shot coming out of Tahrir Square. But here in the United States, fear that the Muslim Brotherhood could take control of Egypt, especially given the new chaos that we saw last night when Mubarak refused to step down. All of that really cuts across party lines here at home. And during a hearing on Capitol Hill, the Obama administration acknowledged the Muslim Brotherhood's dangerous ties. Listen.
I can say at the outset that quite obviously elements of the Muslim Brotherhood here and overseas have supported terrorism.
Right.
To the extent that I can provide more information, I'd be happy to do so in closed session, but
all right. I would appreciate
it would be difficult to do it in open session.
All right, well, that was a bit awkward moment there during that hearing. I'm joined now by Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff. He is on the House Intelligence Committee. He was in that room, and he joins me now. Congressman, good morning. Good to have you here.
Good morning. Thanks,
Martha. It's a strange moment when Mr. Clapper basically said that, he felt that the Muslim Brotherhood was a secular group. He then had to sort of backpedal on that and explain exactly what he said. But you heard the FBI director. He jumped right in and said, obviously we understand that this group has been tied to terrorism in the Middle East. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think the point is the Muslim Brotherhood is not a monolithic organization across the Arab world. It's probably not monolithic within Egypt. There are concerns about it, legitimate concerns about it, not only what it is today, but what it may become. At the same time, we can't let those concerns blind us to the potential promise in the situation. Here you have a country that is potentially on the road to democracy. That is a very positive thing for the region. It may have enormous and again, very positive repercussions. One thing I'm concerned about, Martha, is that if we throw cold water on this and we have one authoritarian regime replaced by another authoritarian regime, Egyptian people are going to feel we betrayed them, that we're not true to our ideals and our support for democracy. So I think we need to embrace what the people are trying to achieve in Egypt and speak to their aspirations for democracy and try to push that democracy in a secular direction.
Yeah, some have said that this administration has sort of talked too much about all of this, really, and that we've kind of stepped in it a few times, so to speak. Do you agree with that?
I don't think the administration has talked too much. I think the administration may have talked too unclearly. Because the Egyptian people, frankly, don't think we're on their side right now. And I think we need to speak much more unequivocally about our support for what they're trying to achieve. And frankly, I think it's time for Mr. Mubarak to step down. We don't want to be on the wrong side of history. And right now, I think the Egyptian people, if they're not successful, are going to feel that we were not with them in their moment of achievement of democracy, that we could have helped them in these final few steps. And that's not where we want to be in history. So I'd like to see the administration speak more clearly, more forcefully, and more forward-leaning in support of the Egyptian people right now.
Yeah, I read what you wrote the other day, and I know that you have met Mubarak, that you visited there several years ago, and you talked about the fact that it's always been, his desire to portray the situation in Egypt that it was either him or the Muslim Brotherhood. And that he's worked very hard to make sure that nobody was able to succeed him in a secular way.
Well, that's exactly right. He jailed Saeed Ibrahim, a secular opponent, democracy advocate. He jailed Ayman Noor. He has a history of crushing the secular opposition so that he could present to us and to Europe, well, it's either me or the Muslim Brotherhood. That strategy can't be allowed to succeed. And again, I think, we have made it clear over the years that this was a mistake, that it might lead to exactly where we are today. Yeah. And now that it has, we need to embrace the Egyptian people's aspiration for democracy, opportunity, and end to corruption.
Congressman, I got to go, but I got to squeeze in one last question. You're on the Intel Committee. How is it that we misread so badly yesterday that Leon Panetta came out and said, he's leaving, and that was not the case?
Well, I would be surprised if things changed during the day itself.
Okay.
And frankly, I haven't been that critical of the intelligence community because I think, as Director Panetta said, what's happening in Egypt right now is like an earthquake. It's coming, but it's hard to say when.
All right, Congressman Adam Schiff, thank you very much. Good to talk to you today, sir.